Welcome to the deep dive. As someone aiming high, maybe you're in business, coaching, or athletics, how often do you hit that wall? You know what needs doing, a critical task, but you just don't feel like it. That feeling, that resistance whispering, maybe later when I'm more motivated, it can really stop you in your tracks. Today, we're diving into something that really turns that idea upside down. We're looking at insights from Coach Ed Padalecki's piece, Now What Needs to Be Done. He points us towards maybe an overlooked gem. David Reynolds Constructive Living. And the core idea, the thing every top performer probably needs to hear is this: feelings follow behavior. Simple, but kind of revolutionary, right?
Absolutely. It feels completely backward, doesn't it? Our instinct tells us we need the feeling, the motivation before we act. But performance psychology, even neuroscience, tells us the opposite is true. When you actually do something first, shift your posture, move, just lean into it, your brain chemistry changes. It starts releasing things like dopamine, norepinephrine, the stuff that makes you feel rewarded and focused.
So the action causes the feeling, not the other way around.
Precisely. The action stimulates those neurochemicals. They aren't just waiting for you to feel inspired. Movement triggers them. It's a feedback loop. Reynolds put it so well. He said, "The most profound sense of confidence comes from being the type of person who can get themselves to do what needs to get done, whether they feel like it or not."
Wow, that hits hard.
Yeah. And it's not about bottling up emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's more about what sports psychology might call psychological flexibility.
Okay, what does that mean exactly?
It's that ability to function effectively even when you're having difficult thoughts or feelings. To act anyway. Think about elite athletes, or maybe Navy SEALs. You really think they always feel 100% ready, totally focused, bursting with energy before something huge? Probably not, no.
Of course not, but they've trained themselves. They show up regardless. That's the power here.
Okay, that science makes sense. Feelings follow behavior. Got it. But for our listeners, the real question is always the how. How do I actually make this work when I feel that resistance kicking in? Is that where Coach Padalecki's question comes in, that now what needs to be done?
That's exactly it. Yes, it cuts through all the mental chatter. Coach P breaks it down into this really simple 1% better daily practice.
Simple. Okay. High achievers often deal with complexity. So what's the magic in this simple approach? Walk us through it.
Well, the magic is its simplicity, because it targets that exact moment you start to hesitate. First step. Just notice it. Notice that internal debate starting. Should I do it now or maybe later? Let me just check my phone first.
I know that feeling.
Second, interrupt that pattern immediately. Ask yourself the question, now what needs to be done? And third, you just act. And it doesn't have to be some huge leap. Right, because Coach Padalecki says start small, shift the energy, and let behavior lead the way. But if I'm facing a massive project, how does starting small really help? It feels almost insufficient for big challenges.
And that's the clever part, isn't it? The trap for high performers often isn't a lack of skill. It's getting stuck in perfectionism or just feeling overwhelmed. Starting small isn't about lowering the bar. It's about outsmarting that resistance in your brain. You create one tiny, undeniable action. A small win.
Oh.
That small win lets you shift the energy, as Coach P puts it. You move from avoidance to actually doing something. So instead of thinking, I need to write this whole report, you just open the file.
Or put on your running shoes instead of planning the whole run.
Exactly. It's a deliberate micro-action. It breaks the inertia. That first tiny step makes the next one easier. You're generating momentum instead of waiting for it.
Yeah, I can see that. I know I've personally wasted mornings waiting for some spark that never came, only to find I've just scrolled social media for an hour. This idea of making your own motivation through action, it really resonates. So zooming out a bit, what happens long term if you consistently practice this? What's the bigger payoff?
The long-term payoff is huge. Coach Padalecki calls it the compound effect of integrity. It's quite profound, actually. See, when you train yourself consistently to act based on what needs doing, not just how you feel, you earn something invaluable.
Which is?
Self-respect, real self-respect. It's not just given to you. You build it action by action. And that self-respect becomes the solid foundation for trusting yourself. You learn deep down that you can rely on yourself, even when things are tough or you're feeling unmotivated.
That makes sense. Trust follows respect.
Right, and that trust then fuels confidence. Not a fragile confidence based on mood, but a really resilient kind. And that confidence, it creates momentum. And momentum, well, ultimately, that's what builds greatness, doesn't it? But it all starts small. One moment, one decision to act, one little bit of discipline at a time. The goal is just to move with intention, especially when it feels inconvenient. to be the person who shows up and does the work.
That's a really powerful loop. Action leads to self-respect, which builds trust, then confidence, then momentum. You literally act your way forward. So the takeaway for everyone listening is you don't have to wait for motivation. You can create it. Train that habit. Ask now what needs to be done, and then just do it. Even a small part of it. It's about building that deep self-respect, that absolute trust in yourself, because you know you'll show up. So here's something to think about. How could consistently asking and acting on now what needs to be done change things for you? Not just at work or in your coaching or your training, but in every part of your life where integrity and just getting things done really matter. What becomes possible when you stop waiting for inspiration and start making it yourself? Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We hope this gives you some food for thought as you continue on your journey.